Hello everybody, my name's Lexi.
My name's Jessica.
And today we're going to be showing you how to build out a course with LeadAR. I just want to let you guys know that this is a pre-recorded webinar, so if you have any questions at all throughout the time that we're talking, please feel free to chat in and we will be there monitoring the chat. But as far as courses, I feel like a lot of our users are starting to use courses for internal, or maybe you want to do like a GLP-1 course, which is what we're going to be going over today. And if maybe you're thinking about starting a training school, there's so many different reasons of why you could use courses in LeadAR. And so that's kind of what we're going to be showing you exactly how to build out and some automations that go along with those. So Jessica's going to go ahead and get started and we'll just go ahead and kick it off.
All right, guys, so first things first, once you log into LeadAR, what you're gonna do is, you might have to scroll down a little bit, but you'll scroll down and hit Course Manager, then you will end up here. So how to start your course is you're actually gonna go ahead up towards the top, and you're gonna go ahead and click into Products. So as you can see, we have some courses already built out in our test account, but how to start to create one from scratch is you're gonna go ahead and click Create Product up towards the top. You're gonna go ahead and click Start from Scratch. So the next thing that it will show is it'll give you some examples of some outlines of courses already, and then you can obviously just tweak it and customize it to your own. So we have a sprint course, we have a marathon course, we have a membership course, or you can always just build from your own or build your own. So I'm actually gonna go back because I already got ahead of the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to products. And I'm gonna go ahead and click into this one that says Welcome Weight Loss Patients. So once I click into here, you can see I kind of already got ahead of the game and started building things out, but I am totally gonna do a step-by-step on how to add categories, how to add different courses, modules, all that good stuff. So first things first is what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go ahead and hit that little plus sign that right next to where it says product structure. So once I hit here, here is your first option is to create a category. So when I hit create category, you just simply put a title. So I've already done that. And so this first category is called GLP course. So once you actually have your category, okay, great. Now I want lessons, right? So how we do that is we're gonna go ahead and hit that plus sign. So we actually have a couple of different options. So we can start off with just simply adding a lesson. We can start with a subcategory. You can also add assessments, and you can even do a certificate too as well. So what I did is I just simply hit add lesson, and I called it Welcome Aboard. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and click into here. Now that I have clicked onto Welcome Aboard, here you can see on my screen, we can totally customize that title. We can also put some verbiage there, beef it up. But another really cool thing that you can also do too as well is that you can totally upload a video. I think it's very helpful too as well. So all you would just simply do is hit upload video. Obviously, of course, just make sure that you have it downloaded onto your desktop so you are able to upload it here. Also a fun little thing too as well is you can totally add a nice little thumbnail, make it branded. And then other things too as well is you could also totally attach a PDF. So anything that would be useful to attach that PDF for that necessary course, you can totally attach it here too as well. So next what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go ahead and just click back to product. All right, so as you can see, I just continued to keep building out and keep adding lessons. How you add a next lesson after you're done. Again, you still will always just go back up to the category that you created and hit that plus sign and then totally decide what that next step is going to be. So for this specific course, right, of course, your GLP, so for your weight loss, pretty generic. And again, these courses do not have to be super long. They can be, but in this example, it's kind of more of just like, hey, you know, here are just some important instructions to know. This is how you inject yourself. And then also just adding value to as well, saying, hey, you know, here are things to expect if you experience, you know, nausea, all that good stuff, but also providing things like even something as like meal plans or even workouts, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see with this first category that I created, we just have a nice welcome aboard. We have a how to inject. That would be a great lesson to upload that video to as well. And then I think also a fun thing to do as well, just to make sure that your patients or clients are paying attention, is you can actually add quizzes too as well. So that's actually what I did. And again, in this case, I went and hit that plus sign and hit add assessment. So I'm actually going to go ahead and click into the quiz. So this is what it is going to look like. So you can totally turn on if we want to grade them where, hey, you know, they can't move on until they actually pass the questions that you've asked. Again, totally up to you, but you can even decide what that passing grade is, or you can totally just turn it off. So oh, and also if you do have the passing turned on, you can totally have like just a nice little message saying congratulations, right, etc. So how do we actually create the questions? How do we let the system know, hey, that's right, that's wrong, if they answer that? So I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down. And so here's where we can totally do our first question. So I'm going to go ahead and click onto question number 1. Here is where we can also decide, okay, what do we want? Does we want a multiple choice? Do we want a single choice? So all you really have to do is just hit here and you can see your 2 options. So question number 1 is, where are safe injection sites? Then when we scroll down, we can see our options. So I just kind of put some options down here. And then if you want to make sure or tell the system, hey, right, if they select this, this is the correct option, you would just hit that little mark here. And again, you can just see, I just kept adding more options. So let me scroll down, and here as well, you can, this is where you just simply add a choice and just keep building and building. And the nice thing too as well is that, you know, even if somebody gets it wrong, you can also totally add an explanation on why, in this case, why it's definitely not okay to inject a certain area when you really shouldn't be. All right, and then again, I just did 1 question, but if you wanted to add multiple questions, right here, you just simply add question and just repeat exactly what you see up here. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll back and hit that back arrow again. All right, so with these, all I did was just add lessons. I did add an assessment, but again, kind of just playing around with the layout, I made this new category called meals and workouts. And this one, I wanted it to be a little more split up and segmented. So you can see that I actually created a subcategory. So hopefully you guys can see it's a little darker in color, but this is the start of that subcategory. So I have one specifically just for meals. And then I have also here too as well, just briefly created one, but again, just, hey, meal ideas for week 1, week 2, and so forth. You can totally keep adding. And then same thing, I added another subcategory for workouts. Same thing, my idea here was, you know, workout ideas for low impact, medium impact, high impact, etc., etc. And again, just to kind of just reiterate if I wanted to do that. So I would just hit that plus sign, add lesson. I would go ahead and call this workout ideas for medium impact and hit save. Once I hit save, you can see that it's totally right there. Again, click into it. This is where I can write your verbiage. You can, again, maybe even do a video, or in this case, right, might be useful to attach a file here too as well. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and hit go back. So hopefully that gives you a good idea. I also do want to also preference here too as well is while you're building it and you're ready to actually publish it, this is obviously very important. So you can see these ones are published, but down here they're in draft. So all you have to do is just hit this little drop down and you can totally just hit published. So now, of course, that you'll build your course out and now you're like, okay, how do I make it published, right? How do I get people to have access to this, right? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is hit into details. All right, so with details, it will go ahead and come here. And again, this is what is going to be the first thing that they see. So again, have a description, have a nice branded thumbnail, nice photo too as well. But what we're actually going to go ahead and do is we're actually going to go ahead and go back up to where it says courses, and you're going to go ahead and click offers. So once I click offers here, again, this will be complete. You won't see any of this. But when we're just talking about offers too as well, this is where we can also have that discussion where, hey, right, is this course just going to come with their weight loss when somebody signs up for a GLP? Or hey, if it's going to be kind of more of a training school where, you know, we want to have them pay for getting this good information, you can totally do that. You'll first have to set up Stripe in your settings. So if you're a client or that you want to create a course where there's, you know, monetary tied to this course, definitely reach out to us at the info@myleadar.com and we can totally open up that discussion and how to set all that up. But for this scenario, it's just going to be a free course that comes along with them signing up for being a GLP weight loss member, or patient. So what we're going to go ahead and do is click create offer. So here again, you'll just customize what that title is, and then this is where you're going to select your product. So your product, hey, we just built it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that drop down, and I'm going to find the one that we just created. Perfect. And again, in this case, we don't have Stripe set up in this account, so that's why the only option is free. Alrighty, and then all we can do is hit create. Oh, let me go ahead and type this first. Okay. All right, so now that we have saved that, again, it'll load you back into this section here where again, you can, you know, add more of a description in the offer details. Also as well is the offer pricing. I know we selected free, but we can also totally hit edit and we can totally customize what we want that to say. Instead of free offer, we can, you know, just change it to the title of the course if you want to again. But I'll go ahead and hit save here. And then same thing, you'll just see just a little bit of a preview too of the course. So once we have that, all we'll just simply do is up towards the top, just hit save. So now that I hit save, now what we can do is I also want to show you right here where you can get the link here and totally copy and paste it, which will do that whole entire nurture sequence and how we can follow up and easily have them automatically just get that link when somebody gets it with Lexi. But I also wanted to show you another way too as well, where to find that link. So I'm actually going to go ahead and hit back to offers. So now you can see that it'll always live right here. And what I can always do right here is always hit the link. And again, you'll see it here too as well. So just know that you can also find the link here. All right, guys, there are two last things that I want to show you before Lexi takes over in terms of automations. So I am going to go ahead and click back up to courses, and I actually want to go ahead and click on to the dashboard. So back to where we first started, a nice thing to always just have, just to look at a quick glance, is that you can totally see opt-ins in the last 30 days, members. You can also see sales if you decide to have a monetary value tied to that course, and same thing with checkouts too as well. But the last thing that I also want to show you is, again, always going right back up to courses, is I'm going to go ahead and click analytics. So again, just getting some quick glances and numbers is you can totally track your courses, track the progress, how far someone's into a course, as well as assessments. You can totally see how well they did on their quizzes if you decide to offer that in your course, member analytics, and then again, revenue if you do decide to have a monetary value tied to that course. But that is everything. If you have any questions with building courses, definitely reach out at the info@myleadar. But Lexi's going to go ahead and take it over and show how we can nurture and have that be automated through an automation.
All right, so now that Jessica has kind of showed you and walked you through the steps of how to actually build out that course, there are automations that kind of go with this, and especially whenever they first sign up with semaglutide, to make sure that we're sending them that link that she was just going over to sign up for the course. So I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how to build all those automations out to go along with your course. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and head over to your automations tab on the left-hand side of your screen. And then I have already built out a couple for this webinar, but if you guys want these in your account, we can totally put them in there, or you can build them out yourself by watching this video. So if you click on to the automation, I'm going to show you the first one, and it's going to be sending them that link to sign up for the course. So This is the first one that you're going to want to build out. So depending on how you have your inventory set up in aesthetic record, if you're doing semaglutide, tirzepatide, GLP-1, whatever it is that you have in your inventory and how that's going to tag over is based on what you're checking them out with. Or if you have a weight loss membership, that is going to be the trigger for the tag as well. So kind of is just going to be up to you, however you have your inventory set up. So in the automation, we're going to start with the trigger. So kind of like I was going over, I just did semaglutide for this example, but again, if you were doing a semaglutide membership, that tag would be whatever your membership is labeled in aesthetic record. So once you kind of have that squared away, you're going to click save, and then we can send them an SMS. So for this one, I just have like ready to start your weight loss journey. Click this link below to sign up for the course. And so where we're inserting that link is where Jessica showed you earlier to grab that link, and you'll just either paste it in there, or if you have it as a trigger link, you can easily put it in there as well. And I also did an email because some people like emails and text, so why not just do both? So that kind of wraps up just for this one. It's super, super easy and simple to do. But one thing too, just for the tagging with the trigger, memberships tag in real time. So if you were to do a membership and they sign up, then they can kind of like immediately get this message. But if you were going to do an inventory item, such as like semaglutide, that's going to tag overnight. So they would get this text the next day. So that's just good info to know based on how you have it set up, if they're going to get it the same day versus the next day, depending if it's a membership or an inventory tag. So now that we kind of have sent them the link to sign up for the course, there's a couple of different automations that we can do based off of them starting the course, where they're at, kind of just sending them little reminders like, hey, you're almost there, whatever you decide to do. But one of them is going to be the first module. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the trigger, and it's going to be for lesson started. So meaning that they have started the course that you've just created. So here we kind of have to filter out certain things. So this is going to be the product, which is the name of the course. Then you've got your category and what lesson it was that they started. So I have this one just sending them like a welcome message, like thanks for starting the course, whatever you want to say there. But just wanted you to know I only did a couple of these, but you can do these for each module or however long like your course is, maybe the beginning, halfway mark, and the end. So I kind of just wanted to show you that as well. But then I have a wait 5 days, and I have an if-else statement seeing if they have completed the how to inject module, because how that was laid out is that's the next one that they're going to go through. And you can kind of do this for which parts of your course are most important. For this example, how to inject yourself is pretty important. So that's kind of why I wanted to make sure that they have actually completed that specific module. So then here, if you click into here, this is going to be tied to a separate automation that I'm going to go over in just a second, but just wanted to give you kind of the layout. Basically, this is just seeing if they have done it or not. And if they have not, then we can send them a friendly SMS like, we noticed that you've started this, just a reminder to watch that video. And we can also add a task maybe to your front desk to give them a call to make sure that they are comfortable with how to inject themselves and just to make sure that they're watching that video. Again, all of this is customizable for your practice or whichever module you're wanting to do this for. But this is just a good example of making sure you're still checking in on them throughout their journey of completing the course. So I'm going to show you where those tags came from in this little if-else statement. So let me go back. And here, this one is going to be a little bit different. So the first one that we went over was lesson started, and this one is going to be lesson completed. So meaning that they have completed the lesson, they're good to go. So after they have completed this, you can kind of just look at what the trigger is here, kind of the same thing. But we can shoot them an email and just say, congratulations, you've completed how to inject. Keep on going through the course to find out more about your diet and workout plans or something like that. And you can also shoot them an SMS as well. I just did both, but you can kind of customize it to whatever your patients respond to the most. But then I'm also gonna tag them right here, how to inject complete. So we know that they have completed this, and that's what's gonna go into the if else statement. So this one is kind of important to do first, just so you can make sure that you're tagging them correctly. But now that we've got this here, I'm gonna go back into the other automation to just show you where that kind of ties in together. Because these two are gonna kind of work together to reach the goal. So how to inject complete, we just added that tag. So now I'm gonna go back to that other one, and then I'm gonna show you right here. If I click on this if else statement, that is where that tag is. So we know that they've completed it due to that other automation with the trigger being less than completed, and then we tag them that they've completed. So yes, tag includes how to inject complete, so they're good to go. Or no, they haven't completed that course yet, so we're gonna send them another reminder. So that kind of just wraps up what automations that we did for today's example. But again, you can continue on building this out for each module. If you have a super long course, or maybe you're doing it for a different reason than weight loss and doing a training school, or training your staff and testing them as well, reminding them to keep on going until they complete it. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us, and we can put these automations in your account, or I can help you build them out from scratch, whichever works. All right, guys, so that kind of wraps up today's webinar. I hope this gave you a little bit more insight on how to build out courses, how to keep track of whoever's in your course, and also just how to nurture those people that are going through whichever course that you're putting them through. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email us at info@myleadar.com, and we can definitely help you or put any of the stuff in your account, or hop on a call and kind of show you how to do it one-on-one. So just let us know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for joining. See ya.
Bye.